Good. How are you?
How are you?
The roster for the Chicago Bears. Any surprises? Any glaring omissions from the roster for the Bears? Go ahead. Give me a couple minutes on that.
I don't think there's any. I don't think there's any surprises. Look, Tyler Scott. I told you guys at the start of training camp. I thought he was on.
Borrowed time.
Borrowed time. I just didn't think that he made the progress that was necessary. And Jade Walker, the kid, was tremendously impressive throughout training camp. To me, you could see the energy he brings. He was good at separating. He's got good speed. He caught the ball with his hands, and really, I didn't know his prowess as a special teamer going back to Texas A&M the way that others did. So he can give you that. A lot of times, teams and coaches, they will fill their special teams crew with defensive players. That doesn't always have to be the case. Like if a wide receiver shows you that he's willing to do what is necessary to be a successful special teamer and he's got that physicality, it's okay to keep a receiver. So I was glad to see him make the team. But outside of that, I don't think there were any real surprises, guys.
In terms of the running back room, they elected not to sign Nick Chubb in the offseason. They elected not to go get J.K. Dobbins. There is now Cam Akers, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. There's some talk maybe Alvin Kamara could get moved at some point. What would you do in that room? Because it's a little thin there.
Yeah, people have talked about trading picks. I wouldn't trade any currency at all to get a running back. I think that
even for Kamara?
No, I mean, you're probably going to have to pay a premium because of the name and the resume, and that's not something I'd be willing to do. Look, the foundation of your running game is your offensive line, and if they can create some space, DeAndre Swift and Monangai, or is it Cam Akers or whoever it is, you can roll with them. I just wouldn't be in the business of spending draft picks at this point on running backs. You did that. You drafted Monangai with a seventh-round pick, unless you tell me he's not going to be available
21
at all this
backs
year.
taken before him, I think.
Listen, Cap, again, I don't completely devalue the position at all. I've said you that 1,000 times. I'm not in the Carmen Yurko camp on that front, but at the same time, I don't think it's necessary to trade for guys at this point. I just don't.
I have a positive about the offensive line, Tommy. Would you like to hear it?
Oh, please, Jonathan. Hold me and tell me it's going to be okay.
Wow. You know what? Even though there's no clear commitment to Braxton Jones at left tackle, Tommy, the positive of the offensive line is that there's depth and that you can rotate some guys that you could find at right tackle or left tackle. Like, for instance, Darnell Wright, obviously there was some pre-snap penalties in camp yesterday, and so he was taken out for Ozzie Trapillo for a couple of plays. I just think that when I look at what we have with the offensive line, we don't know what Luke Newman is yet. We know Theo Benedict worked his ass off to be able to get not only to stick on this roster, but to be second behind Braxton Jones. So I find it to be a work in progress, at least at one position, but I don't think the cupboard's bare. Is that fair? Trapillo being part of it as well. Like, to me, it's kind of like the White Sox in some ways with young players. You're trying to develop them into the position versus having the genuine article.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of on the fence with that with regard to the depth issue. If you've got three guys who can't play, you just got bad depth. You got a bunch of guys, you got depth, but it's all bad. It's all bad stuff. And I'm not suggesting that's totally what the situation is at left tackle, but what do they say about quarterbacks, Jonathan? If you got three, you don't have one.
Correct.
So I just think, and Sylvia's used this phrase quite a bit, and I subscribe to it as well, hope isn't a plan. So, if you knew that Braxton wasn't going to be 100%, and physically you had to know that he wasn't able to get in the weight room as much as you would want him to get in and try to build that base and the strength in his lower body because of the ankle injury, and you were just hoping that Benedict was going to take this massive step forward, or that Ozzie was going to be able to play left tackle after only playing right tackle really at a high level at Boston College. That seems like a plan of hope. And look, if you're okay with where you are right now, fine. But if you're disappointed, then I would suggest to you didn't do a good enough job scouting yours and the guys that were available. I like Newman. I think the kid that they drafted out of Michigan State, I liked what he did helping out with Braxton Jones on the Chiefs game. If you saw, I don't know if it was intentional. Tom Thayer can answer those questions better than I. But there were a lot of times it looked like if no one flashed over Newman, who was starting for Joe Tooney, because Joe, not necessary for him to play in the preseason because he's such an accomplished veteran player. But every time someone didn't flash on him, he was able to kick out and help Braxton, and I think that helped secure the pocket on a lot of occasions. Amagaji, I don't know who he is, Jonathan. I mean, so I got a question mark with Amagaji. I got a question mark with regard to Benedict. It looks like Trapillo is more comfortable on the right side, and Braxton isn't. He is. I said this to the other day. If this was the Braxton Jones that we've seen the last several years with 40 starts, now PFF has graded him higher than my eyeballs have, but I'm no offensive line expert. But if that guy was available, I think I'd be at least a little comfortable that you could help him out with game planning and sliding protection and formation and all that stuff. But this version of Braxton Jones, because it doesn't look like he was able to build that strength in his lower body because of the ankle injury, that keeps me up at night a little bit. So I get what you're saying, Hoodie, that there is some potential for some of these depth guys to develop. Mm-hmm. But there are so many question marks with those guys at this point, too. So, I guess it's wait and see. But I think they're going to be helping out Braxton Jones quite a bit a couple of Monday nights from now.
So Olin had a tweet yesterday. We've been discussing it.
Yeah.
You saw it. Best play caller, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't work. It's the guy making $900,000's fault. Would you go out and get Cam Robinson?
No, I wouldn't. I think that would be his third team. Yeah, it would be his third team. There's a reason why a left tackle like that keeps bouncing around. It's probably because he's not doing the job very well. Look, Cap, they're in a trick box right now. They just are with regard to that position. I would still say, guys, that for me, my bigger concern is consistent pressure from the other side of the ball. Like, I saw Josh Simmons, a rookie left tackle for Kansas City, completely control the man across from him for the entire time that the first team offense was in that
32nd pick in the first round.
Yeah, and he gave Adengbo all he wanted and then some. I think there was one time where Adengbo created some pressure. That's after Mahomes had held the ball for 9 seconds.
Adengbo looked like he was doing the Texas two-step on the line.
Yeah, and listen, I mean, Montez Sweat, despite that burst that he gave you the year that they traded for him in the middle of the season last year, was he more injured than we all thought? Whatever the case may be, the production wasn't there. I think he had 5.5 sacks. So to me, as much as left tackle is a question right now, I think there's a chance that you can protect that spot at least a little bit more than you can, get out of at least the other side of Sweat. That was my biggest concern heading into camp.
Yeah.
And I have to tell you, I don't feel like that problem is even close to be solved at this point.
Yeah, that makes me stay up at night. I'm walking the halls at night thinking about this defensive line. That is for sure. We have more with Tommy coming up right around the corner on a Waddle Wednesday. True Fan Travel and ESPN Chicago are teaming up for the ultimate fan getaway to Sin City to see the Bears take on the Raiders in Las Vegas.
You get round-trip airfare, 3-night stay at Mandalay Bay, special live broadcasts and meet and greets with the full ESPN Chicago team, all-inclusive tailgate, tickets to Bears, Raiders, and more to come.
Spots are limited, so don't wait. Reserve your spot today at truefantravel.com. Back to you on the video. Streaming on the ESPN Chicago app, and Cap, we were going to hear from Ryan Clark.
Yeah, he was out comparing Anthony Richardson to our quarterback here in town.
If Caleb Williams doesn't play well, he's going to get the Anthony Richardson treatment.
Really? Okay.
Next year, they're going to bring someone in to compete with Caleb Williams for the starting job. When I listen to Ben Johnson doesn't sound like a patient man. Ben Johnson sounds like a man who understands offense, who understands what good offense looks like, and who understands quarterback play. So for Caleb, it's going to be a situation where if he doesn't play well, if Ben Johnson doesn't feel comfortable with his progression, they're going to bring in the veteran. They're going to bring in someone who can play under center, who can run play-action pass, who can execute the run game to the pass game and make things look similar the way we saw Jared Goff next year. And if he doesn't win that competition, it's going to be Caleb Williams having to go somewhere else to ply his trade, which I believe he could be successful doing because he's competitive, he's extremely intelligent, and he's also very talented.
You know what, Tommy? If Ben Johnson has that kind of quick trigger, I don't want him to be the coach of the Bears. How about that?
Yeah, I guess that's fair. I mean, I don't think the quote was, I hadn't heard it was as bad as, I don't think he was comparing him to Anthony Richardson, but the Richardson situation. I mean, Caleb Williams is he's in a different zip code, a different stratosphere, a different solar system than Anthony Richardson. I do agree with Ryan, though, that, I mean, Ben seems to be the type of guy that, will not be overly patient. So it would have to be really, really, really bad for that whole type of situation to
It'd have
unfold.
to be really dire.
Yeah. But, I wouldn't, I mean, anything's possible in the world of sports, guys. I mean, I'm not expecting that. I'm not predicting that. But by the same token, if in fact things went completely sideways, you got to find answers to problems, don't you?
Yeah. Oh, there you go, Bajan. There's Bajans.
I didn't even want to say it because we're what are we, 10 days away from kicking off the regular season? That conversation is not one that I'm even interested in having.
All right, let me ask you a question. Other than the Bears and Vikings on Monday Night Football, obviously, what is the game you are most looking forward to, both of you, on opening weekend?
Ooh,
'Cause I got one. It's
I think Chargers and Chiefs is going to be a good game. Who's Green Bay playing?
Green Bay plays the Lions.
That's a good one. I'll be looking at that one.
It's a 325er
at Green Bay.
I'll give you another good one, guys. The New York Giants aren't going to be a great team, but their pass rush. Look at their pass rush. They drafted the kid from Penn State. They got Thibodeau there, right? They got Brian Burns.
And Abdul Carter.
Yeah. So, I think that defense, it'll be interesting to see Jaden Daniels in a divisional game, the Commanders versus the Giants, and how that defensive front, whether or not
you're
they
missing
can put
the
some pressure
best
on it.
one.
Bills Ravens, right?
No, Steelers and Jets.
Oh,
Aaron's going scorched earth, baby.
all right, that's fine. That's not a game I'm interested in at all. Absolutely not.
That's-
Actually, it's Baltimore-Buffalo is the answer. The
That's a
Sunday night
good
football
one.
game.
Yeah.
But also, I'm mad at the NFL, Tommy.
Why is that?
They won't give me my 325 nap game, where Arizona and New Orleans should be. They're a noon start. I need that to be at 325 so I can take a nice nap. That's a good nap game.
Titans Broncos doesn't do that for you?
Right. Oh, no, because it's the Broncos. I got to see that. I got to see Bo Nix. I got to see our guy.
Texans Rams doesn't give you a little nap?
They put a good game in the 3 o'clock window, so there is no sleeping. You got to
Detroit
watch
and
Lions
Green
Packers.
Bay's. Yeah, that's a 325 kick.
Yeah.
By the way,
question.
little breaking news impacts week 1.
Yeah, I got you. Adam Thielen's going back home to the Vikings.
Yep. And there also is news on Tom Brady. Did you see that news?
He's allowed to sit in
He
production
can sit
meetings.
in all the production meetings now. All the restraints have been lifted.
Sure, quarterback privilege.
That's ridiculous.
It's
what
the
it is.
BFL. It's the Brady Football League.
Yeah,
That's
so
what it is.
it's okay.
It's the BSL if they're letting Brady sit in the production meeting.
The story about Thielen, well, Tommy, it's needed for the Vikings because after Justin Jefferson, the cupboard's bare.
Yes.
So
I mean, you could still throw Hawkinson, obviously, and Aaron Jones coming out of the backfield is a really good option as well. But yeah, I mean, Adam Thielen's had a great career, fellas, but he's 35 or 36.
What do you think Carolina gave up to get? I mean, Minnesota gave up to get him?
6-rounder?
A 5th and a 4th for Thielen, and conditional 2026 7 and 2027 5th.
Yeah, I don't know how to put all those point totals together. Thielen only played, I think, 10 games last year. So, it's not the same Adam Thielen that was in Minneapolis years ago, but he's probably better than what they had. I think their third receiver's out with a hand injury.
Yeah, and they also have Jordan Addison suspended. But when he's back, Jefferson, Addison, Thielen, Hawkinson.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good group.
it's all right.
Yeah, and Kevin O'Connell calling plays. That's why I don't think that the Vikings they're not going to win 14 games, but I don't think they're going to win 4 games either.
Yeah, but you got to get those receivers the ball through FedEx because it won't be J.J. McCarthy.
Hoodie, did you join me on my Rookie of the Year play? Because all this does is help it. Tet McMillan. He's going to get fed the football in Carolina now.
Tet McMillan.
Yeah.
I have him on my fantasy team. I drafted him. He's really good.
I love that. Last thing, Tommy, regarding Jalen Johnson. So, and we'll hear from Ryan Poles coming up after Tommy here at the top of the hour, right here on ESPN 1000. So, Jalen Johnson, Jalen Johnson said that he'd like to go head up against the number one receivers. That's kind of what he wanted to do this year. I know Jalen Johnson more than likely will play against Minnesota, but what does that say about game shape for Jalen Johnson?
Yeah.
And do you think that he should go face-to-face with Justin Jefferson, who's coming off an injury himself? I'm not sure about that matchup week one.
Yeah, I mean, it's a concern. I have no doubts about Jalen Johnson's talent and his ability and his play prior to this season. But, yeah, I think you're going to have to make sure that he is – conditioning is going to be an issue. I think Ben Johnson talked about it as well. There's no doubt. And you trust him because of his resume and what you've seen him be able to do. It's not like a rookie who has no NFL experience. He'll get by on his talent, his knowledge, and his preparation. But, yeah, the conditioning part of it is something – I think it's probably great that it's a night game, right? That the conditions are probably, you're not going to have to worry about it being too hot and the sun and all kinds of other things. But you got to keep an eye on it. But Jonathan, I don't think it's going to change the way that Dennis Allen plays his defense, and those cornerbacks are going to be left on an island. That's why Tyreek Stevenson is a hugely important player, especially early in the year with all the injuries that they have. But if they tell me Jalen Johnson's ready to go, I'll ride with him. He's one of the top 5 cornerbacks in the league. But I will definitely keep an eye on fatigue because you know that that's something that the Vikings will target if they see it.
Tommy, as always, we appreciate the time.
You got it, fellas. Have a great day.
Renegade Fantasy, Tommy, the human bye week, baby.
God, you are such a goofball.
Love you.
Love you back.
Love you, Tommy.
Love you too, Jonathan.
Good night.
Good night.
Tomboy.
Yingling, the oldest brewery in America.
Waddle Wednesday is brought to you by Window Works. How about that? The company your neighbors trust, Window Works. How about that, Cap? Tommy Waddle, huh?
Love Tommy.
All right, coming up, we'll hear from Ryan Poles and Ben Johnson, the brass for the Chicago
In
Bears.
studio.
Coming in.
I love it.
Hook up the headphones, Shay.
Let's go.
We'll hear from them coming up next. But first, we pause. You know what, Jay Moore? If they were outside, you'd have to take that back. What if they were outside? What would you do then?
No in-studio guest.
How do you know? I guess because you've been working here.
Yeah.
No in-studio guest.
Year 3. No in-studio guest.
Jay Moore knows he's supposed to have Josh Allen in studio. For us.
Because Jay Moore,
Saving that for the recap.
We had Fran Fraschilla. We had
Frank Caliendo.
Morgan Freeman.
Yes.
Caliendo.
Yes.
Yeah. 100%.
That's 2. But now we pause 10 seconds for stations.
We had somebody else. Was Drew Brees on this show or my old show?
Wasn't on this show.
I think it was your old show.
Old show. Danny and I maybe had Drew Brees. And
Florida
then,
head coach, Todd Golden.
So we had 2 in-studio guests.
I'm getting a cup of coffee.
Why did you say that?